Hi, good afternoon. My name is BC and I am broadcasting live from my kitchen, Joy and Joe. So I'm going to be talking about how to fix how to fix a broken thread in your woven wrap today. So once again, my name is BC and I'd really love to know those that are watching. Please introduce yourself so that I can welcome you. You can also contribute as well to the discussion, even though today's discussion, which we do like most Fridays, now every bi-weekly, so that's every 2 Fridays. Um, the discussion for today is going to be a lot more practical. So it's not just going to be me talking to you, it's also going to be me showing you how to fix a woven wrap pull. So I'm going to be showing you how you can repair your broken threads because let's get out of there. So because some of you over time have been worried about how to care for your wraps and broken threads or broken yarns are actually one of the commonest issues that some parents actually experience when it comes to caring for their wraps, for their woven wraps. So yes, we're talking about woven wraps today and how you can fix a broken thread in your woven wrap. So please share this video with your woven wrap loving friends. So you know your friends who are fans of woven wraps, who carry their babies and toddlers in woven wraps, share it with them so they can learn something or the other. Even if you already know how to fix pulls, I'll be sharing some methods that you've never seen before. So please share this video so you can learn something or the other. And yes, really exciting to be here today. Also, in the course of the discussion as well, if there's anything you'd like to add to the discussion, maybe some ideas that I haven't mentioned, you can leave a comment below and add to, and also just join in the discussion. Hi, Carissa. Welcome to this live discussion. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go into the, let's find the, okay, so we are talking about how to fix a broken yarn. You can also say a broken thread in your woven wrap. So first of all, what do you think a broken yarn is? So what is a broken yarn? How can you identify a broken yarn? Please let me know if you can hear me properly. I woke up this morning with a bit of a headache, with a slight headache. So I so I'm not feeling too well, but just let me know if you can still hear me. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to be showing you. I have my tools here, okay? And so if you know anyone who is going to benefit from this, please share widely and let them know. So a broken yarn is it's a straight thread, basically. So we've already, I won't go into the details or intricacies of woven wraps. So we've already talked about, so I'm using a large scrap today because I don't want to damage a brand new wrap. So most of the wraps all the wraps we have in the shop, they're all, brand new wraps. So I don't want to, because I'm going to be creating pulls here deliberately. I'll create the pulls and then we'll try to fix the pulls together. So I don't want to damage the pulls. I don't want to damage the woven wrap, the brand new woven wraps. That's the reason why I decided to use a large scrap today. Okay. So because some of these weaves are pretty intricate, it is not easy to find a pull. So I'm going to create a pull myself. I'll damage the wrap by creating the pull and then we'll try to fix it together. So a pull can be caused by you just running your fingers. You just run your fingers over your wrap. So even though I don't wear long nails, my nails are pretty short, always short, you know, and natural. So it is hard for me to damage my own, like if I'm wearing a woven wrap or a scarf around my neck or tying it, even as simple as packaging it, it's hard for me to damage it myself because my nails are pretty short and trim. However, on a day-to-day basis, practical living, you can even pull your wrap by basically dragging it, maybe it can catch the edge of a table, and then something then happens to the structure of the wrap that actually destabilizes the structure. So in normal typical woven wrap, you won't see any thread protruding, nothing. But when you have a broken yarn, you basically just see a yarn from nowhere. Well, this is from the selvage, this is from the edge, because this is a scrap, but this will also stand in for a woven wrap. So you just see a thread just showing up somewhere. Okay, I found one now. You can see this. Now I'm indoors, so I hope you'll be able to see this properly. Okay. The thing with live videos is I was going to do this outside so I can really show you, because I want you to be able to see this. Can you see this? So can you see this? So this is an example of a broken thread or a broken yarn. So it's when a sharp object or anything, your nails, basically catches a yarn or a thread in your woven wrap. So what are you going to need to fix a broken yarn? So first of all, I think it's worth mentioning that this is not the first video that we'll be doing about fixing a broken yarn. We have actually done a video in the past, and I'll show you at the end so that you can watch that video, but that video is short. So I think this is the first comprehensive video that we'll be doing on fixing yarns. The other one we did was a very short video, so most of you were saying you would have loved the video to be longer, and there was no talking. We just fixed the pole and just left. So here I will be talking to you about, so you can understand pulls and understand that a lot of the times pulls or broken threads are not something you should be worried about. They are usually cosmetic, because when you think about the intricacies of weaving from my previous broadcast, you remember that I talked to you about how a yarn, a warp yarn and a weft yarn interlocks. It is so complex that it's really difficult for a single pull, and even if it's two pulls, to actually damage your wrap or cause safety issues. Safety issues actually typically occur when your wrap is loosely woven, and most of our wraps are loosely woven. I'll say that our most loosely woven wrap is the Fountain of Love. You know the Fountain of, so some of you will know the Fountain of Love. I don't have a photo here, I will have posted it, but I don't want to cause people who own this wrap any panic. But knowing how to fix it just helps you to, it just arms you with the information so you know what to do if you see a yarn, if you see a broken yarn. Typically, wraps that are loosely woven, that are floppy, those yarns are most likely, those wraps are most likely to pull. But when you have wraps that are tightly woven like this is very difficult. In fact, I've never heard of anyone complaining of pulls in this particular wrap. And that's the reason why we actually deliberately wove it this way. It's almost like a jeans structure, very, very sturdy. The weaves are quite tightly twilled. So that's the reason why, even if I try to use a needle to pull this, I'm not going to be able to do that, because this particular wrap and the Benevolence Allure is very, very tightly woven. So that's the reason why I have picked the original one, which is the old Benevolence Allure, because this is easier to pull compared to this. So you can see the difference so that you can understand. You can see the difference between these and this. So this is easier to pull compared to this, because this is tightly woven. The weave structure, even though the design is the same, the weave structure in both of them is completely different. So I'm talking about these from my experience. I mean, I have been dealing with textiles, literally rolling and sleeping with textiles for over a decade now as a woven wrap manufacturer. So I can say to you that, except if you deliberately, so usually if maybe like a sharp object, like a scissors, a pair of scissors, it really puts a hole through the wrap. In that case, if that particular hole is in the weight-bearing area of your wrap, then that hole can actually it can actually continue to expand, you know. And when you think about safety, you wouldn't What we want is for your baby to feel snug and safe. And once you have a hole in your wrap, then that hole is likely to expand and cause safety issues. But generally, we've never, in my over 10 years experience of weaving wraps, I've never, I think it's like a worst case scenario. I've never heard of a pool actually causing a safety issue in our Joy and Joe wraps. But it's mostly cosmetics. It's when you invest in a woven wrap, I say invest because what we want to see is for you to be able to pass this wrap, your woven wrap, onto friends and families and your children when they have their own children. You want your wrap to last for as long as possible. We pride ourselves, Joy and Joe, in the fact that our woven wraps are durable. But if you don't find a pull, know that it is cosmetic. It's not going to affect the wearing capabilities or it's mostly aesthetics, really. It's not pleasant to actually see loose threads. All right. I've also created some pulls in these particular scrap as well. It's a large scrap so that I can show you how we can fix it. So I have created some of the pulls so that I can show you. Some of our other wraps that I had to pull are these ones as well. These ones they are loom state, so they are quite difficult to pull as well. This is the Merseyside SMP, which we haven't listed on our website. We wove this at the same time with the honeycomb wraps. So we haven't listed these on our website, but you can email to request to order this one. So this is also tightly woven. It's so rare to have it pulled. By the way, it looks like black. It's actually aubergine. So aubergine is very dark purple. So let's use these because this is the loose. This is the, out of all our wraps, this is the only one that I can see that is really, really loose. Okay, I'll use this side. Now this is a double weave, in itself. And so that means that I might be fixing the pole on this side and you won't see the pole on the other side, okay? If my explanation is not clear enough, because I'm trying to make it as simplistic as possible, by leaving a comment, then you'll give me a feedback and tell me to simplify it and I can further explain it, okay? So when I'm fixing the pole, I'm going to tilt my computer screen so that you can see what's in front of me. All right. Now, can I just quickly see what you're saying before hello there. Hi, Gemma. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. So yes, if you're watching as well and you've not left a comment, please leave a comment so I can properly welcome you. Thank you so much. Okay, so 3 methods for fixing a pole in your woven wrap. The first method is the fox knot method. So if you've read the article that I'm talking about on our Joy and Joe blog post, you see that this is the method that we actually showed you. We showed you how to fix your poles using the fox knot method. I'll show you that right now as well. There is also a fox weave method. These terminologies are terminologies that I have coined myself. So you won't find these in any textbook anywhere, okay? These are methods that I have developed on my own. When you do something that you've done over and over again, but there is no terminology for that, you just invent a terminology for it. So that's what I've done. The process is out there, but I just invented the terminology so that you'll be able to know the different methods that I'm using. And the last method is a trim method. So 3 ways to fix your woven wrap poles: fox knot method, fox weave method, and the trim method. So I'm going to start with the fox knot method. So the fox knot method, from the terminology, is false. The fox also stands for false. So you are going to create a false weave. So when you have a broken thread, so let's have I mentioned that you need, which is quite obvious, some of you know, but for the sake of those who are not aware, you need a needle. I will be using these large needle, and this large needle is used by hairdressers. Some people prefer to use a crochet pin. And I think the advantage of crochet pin is that you won't need a thimble, because with this and the sharp edge, you are most likely to prick your fingers if you're not careful, if you're someone that isn't used to tailoring or hand sewing. So please be very careful. But this particular needle is bigger compared to the tiny. I just find this easier to use because I can easily see what I'm doing. The smaller needles are a bit harder to use actually when it comes to weaving the yarn back into your fabric. But you also do need to be careful because this particular wrap is loosely woven. If you're fixing a wrap that is densely woven, you might do better using a medium-sized needle or a tinier needle. A crochet pin will also do the same thing. The advantage of that, like I said, is that the edges are blunt, so you don't have to worry about accidents happening. Okay, and scissors. It's quite funny that I didn't even pick my scissors. I'll just go get my scissors. 1 minute. Sorry, I really ought to have put the scissors next to me, but thankfully I'm in the kitchen, so I was able to grab my kitchen scissors. So you definitely need the scissors. So thankfully the visual prompt has reminded me about the scissors. You definitely need a pair of scissors for that. And thimble for if you're working the needle. I won't be using a thimble today because I'm quite used to hand sewing. Before I ever learned how to machine sew, as a 3-4-year-old, I was already sewing with a needle back home in Africa. So I'm quite used to sewing with needle. I'm probably even more experienced in hand sewing with a needle compared to using the machine. So I won't be using a thimble because I'm quite used to that. But you might need to protect your thumb if you're using a hand needle. You also need a post-it note or chalk. The essence of this is that a post-it note is a very simple way of identifying where your knot is. For example, where your pull is. For example, I found a pull somewhere here. And if I just look at the whole fabric, I might not be able to identify. You can see, it might be hard for me to identify. But if you just put a post-it note somewhere here, again, this is another disadvantage of broadcasting from my kitchen, because if I was in the shop, there are lots of post-it notes everywhere, but this is the kitchen and not a shop or an office, so I don't really have everything I need right here. So I don't have a post-it note here, but your post-it notes, you can easily use that. You just, smaller ones, you can just put it where your knots are, and it can also help you to count how many knots, how many pulls you have. So I have a pull here. I don't know how visible it is, but I'm going to pull it further. It's almost like damaging it. Thankfully, it's a scrap. You see this? Let's move the lights nearer so you can see this. So I'm going to use the needle so you can see this. So this wasn't there before, it was a tiny pull. So I've pulled it further so that you can understand the first method that I will be showing you. The first method is a fox knot method. So your pulls can be a small pull, like initially this was a very small pull. This is another very small pull here. And I basically just dragged it like that. I dragged it like that. So the fact that there's movement between the yarns really does confirm that this is indeed a woven cloth. Because if it was a printed cloth, you would not see movement between your warp or wet yarn. Woven, having pulls occasionally in your woven wrap really just confirms to you that what you're dealing with here is truly a woven cloth. So don't worry too much if you have woven, if you have pulls. This is actually part of the behavior for a woven cloth, okay? So for the fox knot, we are going to be creating a false knot. So we are going to be creating a false knot. Now, if your pull is a small one, just make sure that you are doing this in a place that is well illuminated. So if you want to fix a pull, it will not be helpful for you to do this in the dark. Do this where there is enough light, maybe early in the morning where there's lots of light, or outside, so that you can get lots of light. The only reason why I'm doing this inside is that if I do this live video outside, which I wanted to do so that you can see what I'm doing properly, my internet is not going to, I think the video is probably going to be blurred. So that's why I'm doing it here. Okay. So just let me know if you can see what I'm doing, because obviously there'll be no point if you can't see what I'm doing properly. All right. So I'll tilt this so you can see what I'm doing here. So you can see this knot was a small knot and I pulled this. So this method, this fox knot method, basically involves you creating a false knot. Okay. Tilted these, just hold. I was going to get someone to help me hold my laptop up so that I can easily just show you easily. So you can see what I'm trying to do here. I've trimmed it slightly. So now I have 2 yarns. Can you see the 2 yarns I have? Let me know if you can see what I'm doing, okay? Let me know if you can see what I'm doing. Now, I now have 2. So I'm going to create a false weaver's knot. It's a weaver's knot because normally, if this is not a pool, there are many times that in the course of the weaving, maybe at the end of a particular row of yarns, our weavers will create weaver's knots. So weaver's knot itself is part of the characteristics of a woven textile, of a woven wrap. But here I'm going to be creating a fox. So that's why I've called it a fox knot, because this knot is not the one that is created by the weaver, but it's one that you will be creating so that you can stop the yarns from further fraying or going. So you can see now that I'm tying this. I'm going to create a knot. I've done, so there's 1 knot. I'm going to create another knot now. You can tie this. Try not to knot it too much, because now I'm doing 1 more. If you knot it too much, like if you do like 4 or 5, then it's going to be slightly raised. So now I've knotted this 3 times and I'm going to just trim. You can see. So this is where the pool used to be. Just hope you can see this. Let's just centralize this. How well can you see this? Okay. Oh gosh, I'm trying to get this into the camera. Okay. So this is where the pool, this is a pool that I haven't fixed. I'll fix that now. But this is the knots. This was how the pool was. The pool was initially like this. Okay. And now I just trimmed these and then carefully, gently created a knot. You can see where the knot is now. This is the knot that I have created. And so with this now, your pool has been stopped. Your yarns are not going anywhere. They are not going anywhere because it's been knotted in place. So this is a fox knot method. You can see even here, you rarely see that you would rarely see that there was any knot there. So this is the fox knot method. Let's just make sure that you can see this properly. I'm going to use the other side of the wrap because I think that's a lighter color, because I'm thinking you might be able to see that properly. Right, so the next method that I am going to be showing you is the fox weave method. So fox weave method, I feel that this particular side, which is the lighter colored side of the wrap, will probably show you better rather than me use the other side. Okay, so here as well, I'm going to create a knot. I keep saying a knot. I'm going to create a pool. Okay, so let me use another white one. You see this one? I could either pull this. See, so I've just created a pool now. You can see this now. I've just created a pool. Okay, I know if you find these in your woven wrap, you'll start panicking. But like I said, it's usually cosmetic. Now, the advantage of this particular wrap is that this particular wrap is our original benevolence. It's a double weave. So it has a peculiar two-layered weave. So even though I have created a pull here deliberately or a broken thread, on the other side, right where it is, you won't find anything. Okay, so that is the advantage of this particular style of weave. All right, so in this particular weave, fox weave method, I'm going to be using a thread. Okay, I'm going to be using a thread. It's optional because if you're able to have a long, thread yarn, you don't actually need a thread. But if your pull is a small pull, so you might just need to just cut it. So you do it in two ways. I'll do this first and I'll do the other one. So I'm going to weave this way. I'm going to weave that way. All right. So this is the reason why I like these needles that I'm using, because these needles are big. So even if I tie, so I'm just going to tie these thread on my yarn. Can you see this is the yarn? This is the broken yarn and this is the thread. Just going to tie both of them together. Okay, scissors again. Be careful with your scissors. Like this particular one is quite sharp because I use it in the kitchen. So now I have now tied. Can you see now that I have now tied my pull? So I'm now going to thread it. I'm going to thread it. Okay, I'm going to thread this. And this is another advantage of using this hairdresser's needle because it's so easy to thread. So now that I've done these now, can you see what I've done now? I'm now going to use this to weave into the structure. So you will now trace your wrap, the pull, and try to imagine and try to investigate where the pulls come from. So you can see what I have here now. This is where the pulls come from. Okay, I just want to be sure that you can see this. But can you see where the pulls come from? This is where the pulls come from. So I'm going to weave this in this direction. I'm going to weave it into the structure of the weave. Okay, now this is not easy because I'm having to bend. I'm having to bend. Probably easier if you were here with me. I can show you face to face. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just going to weave it into the fabric. So you will have to follow the actual direction. You see what I've done? So you go up, down. It's almost as if you're also weaving as well. So this is a fox weave method because it's not a real weave. It's you creating the weave so that you can lock your, can you see what I'm doing? So that you'll be able to lock your yarn in place. Look at that. Can you see that? Do it really carefully so you can see. So you can see that here we had a pull here, but you can see the pull. I have now woven the pull right into, let's move this into the center of the fabric. I have now woven the pull into the fabric. Can you see what I've done? I've woven it right into the fabric. So the pull is no longer out there. I'll do the same to this as well. So this was how the pull looked initially. The pull looked like this initially. And now I tied it to a thread. Usually you should use the same thread, or you can use, so that it won't be too obvious that you fixed something there. So you can use, like I've used the white thread here. So it's, right? Obviously the thread is not going to be as strong as your yarn, but all you're trying to do is just to fix a yarn. So you're not actually creating a real weave, you're just creating a fox weave. Okay, so I've just woven these now. What I can do now, just to further secure this, is to further weave it into the fabric. And the advantage now is that I'm also using a white thread that actually matches the yarn. So it's not going to be obvious. It's like you're trying to patch your jeans, you know. If you're trying to patch your jeans, if you use the same color, then it'll be easy. Then it won't be easy for anyone to know that you've actually repaired it. But if you use another color, you know, it's going to be pretty obvious. So I'm going to continue weaving it. Can you see what I'm doing here? So 1, 2, do it really carefully, because if you don't do it properly, you are going to create holes in your wrap. So you have to do it really, really carefully. Okay. Now that knot that I tied, good. Now it's there now. You see now that I've good. So I've just done that now. Okay. So that is the fox weave method. So all I'm trying to do is to weave this into the structure of the wrap. Now, some of you have asked that rather than fix this yourself, why don't we allow you to send your wrap back to us? Now, this is a service that we are brainstorming on, because for us to be able to provide that service, we have to be able to get our tailors ready, so that if we ask you to send your wrap, we'll be able to tell you how many days or how many weeks it would spend with us. Okay, so we will hopefully come up with that service soon, but just give us some time to work on logistics. So definitely not during this pandemic. So when things return back to the way they used to be, I don't want to say normal. So I will announce and let you know how we're going to how that's going to work, basically. So that's the fox weave method. If you want to do this as well, you also use that same method for this as well. Okay, so at the end, what you should ideally do is it's almost like you are trying to finish up your sewing. You do this at the end and then tie, okay? That is what you should do at the end. If I want to do this as well, what I need to do here is to thread this again. Threading a needle requires a lot of focus. So I've threaded this. Can you see what I've done? Okay. The other time, just because I tied it, it wasn't easy moving it inside the fabric. Now this is a long needle. So what you need to do is to, oh, it's come off again. So your weave is called, the fox weave method is called the fox weave because it's not the original weave. What you're only trying to do is to secure your pole. All right. So this is the reason why ideally you should tie it, because if you don't tie it, like it's come off now, it will come off again. It's come off again. Last attempt with tying it. Okay, so then tie it. Now that we have these now, what you need to do again is to follow. You can see, so you can just gently just pull, so you can see the tension, you can find out where it's come from. You can see that this yarn is coming from that direction, so I'm going to weave towards that direction, okay? So I'm going to weave towards this other direction here. So just going to take it in out, in and out, in and out. Try to follow each of the you see that? You see? So you can see that it's not going to give you the original weave, but at least you would have fixed the pull that could otherwise get a lot more unraveled and then subsequently maybe damage your wrap. But now you've completely matted, interlocked this yarn, this stray yarn or this pull into your woven wrap, okay? So just going to tie this off now. And then cut. Be very careful when you're doing this, because obviously using the scissors, if it's too close to your fabric, it can actually damage your fabric. So you can see now that we've tried to fix the pull. We've tried to mat it. This is a very dense, very dense. So we've tried to fix the pull. We've tried to fix it. And so there's no stray. Can you see this now? See? There is no stray yarn anywhere. So all the yarns have been matted, interlocked into the fabric. All right. So the last method is the trim method. The trim method is so straightforward. The reason why it's so straightforward is it's usually useful for wraps that are tightly, densely woven. So you don't have to tie. So you don't have to use the fox knot method of tying or the fox weave method of creating a weave or interlocking your yarn. What you just need to do here is just to trim. Be careful about this particular method, because if the weave of your wrap is a loose weave, when you use the trim method, you are basically allowing your wrap to you are actually making your wrap a lot more prone to further pulls. So what you need to do is to, if you're not sure, you can email us and let us know the type of wrap you have, and we'll let you know the sort of method we think is best for you to use to fix your pull. So this particular one, like I said, is great for wraps that are densely woven. So for this particular one, I've created the pulls and I'll just show you the trim method. So this is a pull here now. The trim method, I will just gently trim. So what I've done here, I will just trim this off. So basically I have stopped the yarn from, because if the broken yarn is still out there, there's a likelihood that it can actually just continue to just go. Okay, so now you can see that I have completely trimmed the yarn, so you can't see the broken yarn anywhere, because this particular weave is densely woven. So it's not easy to actually pull this particular wrap. But you can see the trim method is quite good. So the trim method is also going to be great for woven wraps like this as well, because the weave structure is quite dense. So the yarns are tightly packed. So it's not going to be easy for you to easily use a fox method or a fox weave method or fox knot method. Just use a trim method, because as soon as you trim it, there's no way the yarn is going to go anywhere else. All right. I hope this has been as simplistic as possible. Let me know if you have any further questions on these subjects. Please leave us a comment in the comment section of this video. Or if there's any other suggestions you have, let's move myself to that side. So if there's any other suggestions you have as regards how to fix a broken thread in a woven wrap, can you just maybe leave a comment so that others can also learn from you as well? Maybe if there's a method you've tried apart from these three methods that we've tried. Again, we have the fox knot. I showed you the fox knot method, the fox weave method, and the trim method. So if there's any other method you know or you've tried in the past as worked for you that is not part of the three methods that I have showed you, please leave a comment, because this is all about caring for our woven wraps. We want your woven wraps to be durable. We want them to last long. So let me know if you picked something up. If it's easy for you, let me know. If you want us to further simplify this, we can do that on another day. Let us know. You can also post pictures of pulls before and after you fixed it so that others can also learn us. Don't forget, we have a community on Facebook, Join Gel Baby Wearing FSOT. It's a buy and sell page, mainly for our customers who want to resell their pre-loved wraps, but you can also chat with other customers as well on general topics. And we also have the Baby Wearing Hub, which is mainly a discussion group, not for sales. But Join Gel, we can also inform you about our special offers or promo offers. And by the way, it is worth mentioning that we have some announcements. We have a blog post that is up right now, and it's the announcement of our baby wearing art competition. Check it on our website, joyandjoebaby.com. Go to the blog post. You see that we've announced our winner. Let us know what you think about the souvenirs we're hoping to create. Also, don't forget as well, you see this in our in the Flickr, that we have a linen ring sling, which is gray. It's pastel gray, it's lightweight, it's fantastic for the warmer weathers. So be prepared for the warmer weathers. We've slashed the price, so mainly as a giveaway price, so that we can create more space in our shelves ahead of the end of the pandemic. So that's the reason why it's only £28 giveaway price. So take advantage of these, visit our website and get your linen ring sling. And I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. For those who watch the replay as well, thank you so much. And I wish you the best of health. And I'm hoping to catch you on another Friday. It's going to be not next Friday, 2 Fridays to come. So if there's anything you would like us to talk about in these Friday discussions, let me know. What would you like us to talk about? I think our next discussion might be about safety, baby wearing safety, even though we've dealt with that before. But let me know if that's a topic you'd like us to talk about. Or are there any other topics, maybe summer baby wearing? But one of our ambassadors, Carissa, actually spoke about summer baby wearing. So I think it's great if you can watch. Let's see if I can get that up, because I think it'll be fantastic for you to be able to learn about how you can carry in the warmer weather. Let's see if I can find these for you. It might be easy for you to be able to know where to find it. It's on our main Facebook page. You need to go to the video section, or simply go to our Facebook page and just scroll down, because she only broadcasted the video yesterday, so it shouldn't be hard for you to find it. Where is it? Okay, yeah, I found it now. So I'm just going to show you that's okay. Share screen. Okay.
In like a cotton wrap, that'd be nice and cool. Or I have SMB Becky, which is cotton, cashmere, and bamboo.
So that's a snippet.
It's so lovely. That's it. It's really super thin, but it's super supportive. It's so cool. I absolutely love it.
Okay, so that's a strip. That's basically a snippet of the video. It is so much to learn. Also, I told you about the comprehensive guide on pools that is on our website. You can read about it, because you might be able to just get some reminders and some of the things that we talked about today. It's in our blog post. If you go to our website, use the search bar at the side. If you use the search bar at the side here, can you see my cursor hovering over the search bar? If you just put comprehensive guide on fixing pools or pools, and you see the blog post. So you can see that this blog post was written in 2015, but there's so much information there on how you can fix pools. And there's also a video there as well, a video on how you can fix polls. So like I said, that's the reason why we've done a more comprehensive one today. But there you have some theoretical information on how you can fix polls. So you can see the video, it's right there, or you can go to our YouTube channel, it's also there as well. Okay, so without taking much of your time, because I'm rounding up, I'm going to show you our linen ring sling offer. Let's show you that quickly before I say bye to you. So here we have our linen ring sling. Here you can see that the price is £50. Like I said, we're trying to declutter because we want to empty our shelves ahead of the end of the pandemic. So please go to our website and get these for your friends who are expecting, those who are completely new to baby wearing, who really enjoy the lightweight and versatile nature of the of our linen rings. It's only £28 excluding shipping. Shipping is generally dependent on your address. It's usually not more than £4 approximately, but obviously if you live outside the UK it might be slightly higher because we only use tracked postage, and this is mainly to ensure that your order gets to you. So it's been a very warm day broadcasting, but I'm really happy that you were able to watch till the end. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to catch you in 2 weeks' time. Take care, stay safe, bye.